Topic of the today's presentation is factors affecting technology adoption in service sector, and we are mainly focusing on financial services, education services, as well as tourism and hospitality sector services. And we are moving on to see what is technology adoption, and this is acceptance and integration in the use of new technology. Maybe it is from the perspective of financial services, education, or tourism, or hospitality, or any other related sector. And the theory pertinent to adoption of technology examines the decisions whether to accept or not to accept the given particular technology and integration of same into the entire organization. These are some of the networks pertinent to share of connected devices as of January 2020 by Hootsuite. We can see most of the short-range IoT devices are leading by nearly 11 billion out of the total share of devices, and subsequently second position is being occupied by nearly 8 billion mobile phones that represents 34%, and that's why most of the industries for the service sector using mobile apps due to the severe popularity of mobile devices. This is the use of mobile apps by category, and most of the time mobile apps are being used for chat purposes and social networking, as well as entertainment, games, shopping, and music apps also there, and banking related financial services apps also there. Similarly, that is being used for health and fitness purposes. Services using mobile. Now we can see that most of the time mobile is being used for watching castings, as well as using QR codes for different type of services for hospitality, education, or financial services. And the next thing that is being used is for searching purposes, that is 38%, and also being used these services for ticketing or onboarding, maybe that is related to travel and hospitality sector. And another thing that is being used is for transfer of money, and that is accounting for 46%. Now we can see how e-commerce related activities are being carried out in this slide. Nearly this represents 80% for searching purposes. Similarly, that is subsequently followed by web usage for online retail store visiting. Similarly, purchasing of goods is being represented 74%, and online purchases also being represented 36% through desktop or laptop devices, and usage of mobiles are ranking better than that, and that is 52%. Now we are coming in to see what is the importance of technology adoption. Organizations are adopting new technologies to improve efficiency and effectiveness. That means if you are following the traditional methods or the traditional ways, then there can be delays, or the traditional methods takes time, and it involves human interaction as well. So that if you are going towards adopting to technology, it saves money as well as resources. And the other thing that if you make investment and if it fails, that means if a project failure happens, that costs a lot, financial losses as well as dissatisfaction. That means projects should be properly articulated to attain the objectives. Technology adoption life cycle that describes sociological model, and it describes pertaining to demographic and psychological characteristics of defined adopter groups. And the process of adoption over time is typically demonstrated by normal distribution or a bell curve. 5 chronological demographics are being identified that we can name those as innovators, early adopters. Normally, these two categories are just risk takers, and they are just going behind innovations, and they are easy to adopt in such technology innovations. And early majority and late majority also the same, but they are not taking risk that much. However, they are they also go towards innovations. And last type of demographic characteristics is the laggards, who are just lagging behind technological innovations, and they are more conservative, and they are just risk averse, and it takes so much of time for them to adapt to technological innovations. This is a case of technology adoption in developing countries. Technology and regulatory development and regulatory impediments to resource allocation limits the ability of developing countries to adopt new technology. That means when you are having budgetary or any other constraint, then it will be having an adverse effect on adoption of technology, meaning that if you are having so many impediments, then there will be an adverse effect towards the economy. And when economy uh, is not moving fast, and there's always technology adoption is relatively less, so that there will be a sluggish, and economic growth is also reduced, and economic developments uh, taking longer time than planned. Technology adoption from scientific perspective. Technology adoption has a nexus to cognitive science, and this encompasses the traditional disciplines of psychology, computer science, neuroscience, anthropology, linguistics, and philosophy. Similarly, e-learning, e-tourism, e-banking adoption, those have been researched in social cognitive theory perspective. Likewise, attitudinal models related to social psychology have been used in relation to explain online user behavior. We can name some models as technology acceptance model, extended term, unified theory, so on and so forth. Now we can see the different perspectives, mainly biological perspective. Uh, it says that there is a relationship between hormones and human behavior, technology adoption also human behavior, and there is some kind of relationship. However, we are not going to be deeply investigate that. However, we are investigating the psychological perspective, and it is being researched in numerous psychological, economic, and social contexts. And we can see so many researchers available in e-services fields such as education, transport services, healthcare, hospitality, e-banking, and social media related researchers. Theoretical explanation. We have taken some of the mainly used theoretical explanations. However, there are so many technology adoption explaining theoretical models and theories as well. Firstly, we are taking theory of reason action. This mainly discusses on behavior intention. This is by Fishbein and Hudson. Secondly, we are taking theory of planned behavior. This mainly discusses on intention and pursued behavioral control. And this is by Hudson. Thirdly, we have listed technology acceptance model. This is one of the widely used model in order to explain the acceptance of modern technology. And subsequently, we are discussing on this diffusion of innovation. This is by Rogers. This discusses how, why, and what rate the technology spreads. And the final thing we have mentioned is the unified theory. This is by Venkatesh. And this explains user intentions to use an information system and subsequent usage behavior. This is the literature related findings. Technology adoption is contextual, and same is the technology acceptance model is the most parsimonious model among the TRA, TPB, and decomposed theory of planned behavior models, because it has only two main variables, and the complexity is very much less, and the explainability is very much high. Similarly, we can see that these kind of technology adoption related researches available in different perspectives using related models in the form of descriptive, comparative, and relational studies. Technology adoption in relation to various research fields is also recognized as an emerging researchable notion. Maybe it is relevant to financial services, education services, or tourism or hospitality sector. Methodological diversity and concerns. We are mainly uh, noting the qualitative, quantitative, and mixed method research related to technology adoption. Similarly, main concerns related to technology adoption we have identified those as infrastructure development, formulation of timely policies, and education reforms. And those have been recognized by several multinational consulting and management institutions as well as other reputed institutions. These are the factors that affects technology adoption in service sector. We have listed several factors: individual factors, social factors, institutional, market, and technical, and finally organizational factors. We'll be describing one by one. Individual factors are perceived usefulness, perceived ease of use, and personal intuitiveness. This actually helps a person to accede to whatever technology, considering the usefulness as in the ease of use and how innovative that is. And similarly, well, prior experience, image, and enjoyment aspects also matters a lot. Secondly, we are focusing on social factors, mainly peers, social network, lifestyle, purchase behaviors also matters in this category. That means when you are having a higher influence from maybe peers like family members, friends, or whoever the close relatives, then there will be a higher portion of adoption to technology when they appreciate or when they also accommodate usage of technology. Nextly, we are moving to institutional factors such as regulation, legislation, governance. And this includes aspects such as resistance or the change resistance, reduction to new laws, dealing with fraudulent activities by enforcement authorities. Subsequently, we are moving on to market factors that includes contracts, agreements, and business processes. Similarly, the costs pertinent to technology adoption. And when you take the long run effect, it will be beneficial. That means the technology adoption will be beneficial for an organization or a particular sector. However, when changing to new technology related processes from complex legacy IT systems, it will be costly at the initial stage. Technical factors include information exchange, transaction, distributed ledger, shared infrastructure, and it also encompasses transaction processing time, fees, cybercrime, such factors as well. Organizational factors also there, and it could be identified as training, manager support, incentives, and also operational attributes, processes, conditions within an organization also includes in that category. Technology adoption in education services is the next thing. Now we have identified that aspect as education technology, or shortly we are referring to it as EdTech, and it is a combined use of computer hardware, software, education theory, and practice to facilitate learning. And this encompasses various disciplines such as communication, education, psychology, sociology, artificial intelligence, and computer science as well. Encompasses several domains as well, such as learning theory, computer-based training, online learning, mobile learning aspects as well. Technology adoption in education services, we are further involving, and here we can identify two aspects, that is synchronous and asynchronous learning methods, and that is online and offline methods. And second thing is collaborative learning, that is computer supported collaborative learning, and this is also in line with social learning aspect as well. The third one we are referring to is the flipped classroom, and that is in the traditional, as again the traditional thing. This encompasses uh, sharing of educational notes and resources offline or at home. People or the students can refer online these things at their home, and they can visit school and the university and do the rest of the thing, that engagement with the learning partners. And one of the pioneers of free classroom model is the Jonathan Bergman, and there's a global initiative in that as well. Now we are moving to education 4.0, that is with the introduction, industry 4.0 concept, and there are so many other technologies or the developments pertaining to education, and we are just briefing those. One of the thing is the 3D printing, and 3D models also helps to students to better understand what are the research for the topic under consideration. Augmented reality and virtual reality concepts also giving enhance over the thorough knowledge as against traditional textbook methods. Cloud computing, hologram methods also make possible students to go and search whatever education content online, and they can do the same at their home rather than staying at classroom. Biometrics such as facial recognition, fingerprints, eye tracking, those also being considered in education sector for attendance marking and so many access control situations as well. Paper-thin smartphones, multi-touch LCD screens also being used, whereas Internet of Things, artificial intelligence also being used in educational services for different kind of facilities. Big data is being used to interchange of data among institutions of students and between the uh, student and the learning partners. For instance, when you take that big data analytics, then of course the institution or the authority can have a data on how the learning process is being conducted, and they can either take corrective things, or they can identify the performance and predict any information as per the details. QR code related technologies being used in education sector. And now we are moving on to technology adoption in financial services. This is commonly known as fintech developments, that is technology being used in financial services industry. And we can see mobile wallets, payments app such as PayPal, Apple Pay, Google Pay, and crowdfunding platforms. There are so many nowadays, and this is just eliminating the middleman. And cryptocurrency and blockchain techniques are also there, and that is being used for investments. Robo advisors, stock trading. This is mainly for portfolio investments and stock trading purposes. InsurTech is being used by insurance for personal and property insurance aspects, and regulation technology known as RegTech is being used by regulators in particular industry. Even in financial services, that is also being developed. Chatbots, open banking is also another concept, and now those are being used in banking. And QR code payments are also contactless payment method, and being used for different kind of payments, maybe retail payments or any other mode of payment. Now we are moving on to travel and tourism related technology adoption, and here we can see augmented and virtual reality usage for travelers, for them to just see how the cabins in advance, and to increase the ticket to ancillary services by way of promoting this technology. And artificial intelligence, that is also being used, such as by way of travel boats, and usage of robots in relation to service offerings in relation to travel and tourism sector. And Internet of Things for integrated connectivity purposes also being used nowadays. The airlines also being practice this kind of technology, and voice technology rather than typing search methods. Now the travelers are using voice technology and Wi-Fi connectivity, wearable devices, and Walt Disney Company also using this kind of RFID equipped magic bands and these kind of wearables for their theme park infrastructure maintenance. And near field technology NFC also being used for access control purposes, and robo and infrared sensors for butler services, that means robo butlers, and converge LAN, that means local area network facilities, smart home keys also being used in relation to tourism. Fingerprint usage and entertainment on tap, cloud services, feedback on social media rather than completing forms just to give feedback, also being used and practiced in the industry. And their facilities are occurring continuously, and these kind of facilities are being offered as a integrated, seamless experience to customers or the travelers. Now we are focusing on challenges related to technology adoption that we can identify it as government policy support. That means when the governments are deciding resource allocation more towards technology related or technology driven economy, then they are moving away from traditional sectors, so that most of the sectors, including education, travel and tourism, and financial sector, they are just move towards uh, digital trend adoption, so that in long term their cost will be less, and uh, industry will be prosperous, and economy also can be uh, development oriented. Infrastructure, second one, and here what what is we what we have identified as a challenge is infrastructure. And when the infrastructure is not up to the expectation, or the IT related infrastructure is not being developed, then there's a challenge particularly to develop technology adoption. Similarly, information security is also another aspect, and risk should be managed properly, and we have to address unlawful use, disclosure, disruption, sedition, and corruption related to technology adoption in line with information security. Now we are moving on to future prospects on technology adoption. Omnichannel service experience. That means now the customers are being offered a single unified experience across all channels, and the increased use of bots and artificial intelligence. And one of the global market insight report noted has noted that 1.34 billion uh, net worth of chatbot market, and half of that will be dedicated to customer services. Use of blockchain in numerous services has been identified as the third one, and most of the blockchain is this blockchain facility is decentralized one, so that the cost related to centralization will be eliminated, and it will be largely used across industries. The fourth one is data-driven service decisions. The previous occasions, most of the industries use the previous data. However, now they can access the big data analytics to take decisions. And the fifth one, emerging technologies find their place inside business solutions. That means business solutions are being accommodated by using novel technology, such as IoT, AI, whatever it is. Those are not just standalone things, and it will be used for address business issues, and they are being used for accommodate solutions. And the sixth, the last one is we have mentioned zero trust share cybersecurity initiatives. That means we don't have trust. We should, trust is not necessary be there, because everything should be verified, so that that is the new paradigm. That means everything should be verified, and we have to have more consolidated approach towards cybersecurity. And with this, we are ending the presentation, and thanks to all the participants and scholars. For any clarifications and questions, you can reach through the email address. And in order to connect via academic social network, please follow these. Thanks a lot. Wishing you a prosperous year ahead. Thanks.